Hi guys, it's Taran. Welcome to my intro video to my virtual tour for Linked, starting on September 14th, 2013 and ending sometime, I'm not quite sure. But I'm going to start by telling you a little bit about me, and then I'll tell you a little bit about where I'm at with my writing, and then I'll tell you about Linked. So, like I said, I'm Taran. I'm a sophomore in college in Kansas, and I started writing when I was a senior in high school. Well, I started writing this book. I pretty much wrote poetry all throughout high school, but my senior year I was in soccer, and I was really upset after a loss, and I was injured, so I couldn't play to the best of my ability, and so I was just really upset. And so I got back on the bus and I started to journal, and I realized that that was really lame and it wasn't making me feel any less angry. So I decided to just think up someone, and I came up with a character and I wrote a book about her. So, and I stuck with it. I absolutely loved it. I just loved it. And so I kept going and I kept going and I finished it in 7 months, and it was my freshman year in college, and it was December of last year, and I hand wrote the whole thing. I have some books here that I'll show you in a minute, but after I finished writing it, I decided to type it up, so I had like an electronic version, because, you know, notebooks can get ruined, things can get spilled on them, and so I started typing it, and when I was about halfway done, it was about early January, and I saw a Facebook post from a friend of mine who posted about a novel contest award, and if you won it, you got a publishing contract and money. And so I decided to pursue it. You know, what did I have to lose? So I had to finish typing my novel. I had to edit it several times and then pitch it, as well as pick out the strongest chapter. And so I had to compile all these things, which I did. I successfully finished by the deadline, and it was about 12 hours before it was actually due, and I went to the page to upload it and everything, and I realized that they had already received the maximum amount of submissions, so I couldn't submit it. So basically, I was mad, and it felt like the end of the world, but I realized that, you know, I didn't write the book for the contest. I wrote the book for me, and I wrote the book for the characters in the book, because their story needs to be told. So I got back on the horse, you know, and I didn't give up, and I met a friend who was actually in the same boat as me. She's written some books, and she hadn't had any luck, you know, with contests and stuff, and so she actually showed me what the query process is like, and so I started querying, and, you know, and you send a query letter to an agent who represents you to publishing companies, and so I got started on that, and it took me, let's see, about a year, and I got a reply from an agent in May of this year, and she wanted my full manuscript, and so I sent it to her. And before that, I had been planning on doing a book tour over the summer, but I realized when the agent got back to me that that would be a much quicker, less time-consuming, cheaper route to do, so I just decided to stick with the querying for a while, and so I waited for her, and waited, and she still has it, but she's recently been on a break from taking new work, so hopefully she revisits my book and decides she likes it still, so we'll see. But I'm doing these videos to see if, you know, I can get some support out there in case I do decide to self-publish, because it is still an option, and it's still a very, you know, it's an opportunity for me, and so I am trying to gain as much support and feedback I can from these videos and these blog posts. So if you could just, you know, leave me a comment and let me know what you think, that would be great. To tell you a little bit about Linked, it's 365 of these written pages. Like I said, I wrote the whole thing first, so this, and so It's about 78,000 words, just under that, and it's about the typical size of a novel, you know. And so it opens with this girl named Sam who is grieving and feeling guilty for the loss of her brother who died in a car accident. And so she pushes everyone away except her one best friend Matt, and she has to care for her kid brother who, you know, is pretty lost because his parents are never around, you know. So she's pretty much a parent to him, and she's doing all these things, and then she meets Will Sketch, who kind of grabs her attention, and she's drawn to him, but she doesn't generally trust people, and so it's a challenge for her to let him in, but she knows that if he does, you know, he can provide healing and, you know, essentially forgive herself for feeling guilty for her brother's death. And so she trusts him, and, you know, they click, and they become linked, and a while down the road, Sam discovers a big secret of Will's from his past, and she kind of shuts down, and at the same time this happens, she finds out secrets from her brother and her mother and her friends from school and Matt, and all these things are happening, and she can't just look the other way, you know. She has to decide, can I forgive this person, to each single person that does these things to her. And so she has to make some pretty hard decisions at 18, and I guess we'll see where she goes with that. But the reason I wrote this is, I mean, it's important as a writer to try to get your readers to think and try to relate to your characters and say, well, this character is doing this, do I agree with that? Or this character did this, should he be forgiven? You know, that kind of thing. So it really needs to have more depth to it other than they went to the mall and had a great time. You know, it has to be stronger than that and provide more of a intellectual kind of thought after that. So that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Just trying to gain some followers, and so I'll post this on my Facebook page, on my wall, and then on my author wall, and then on Twitter, and then my blog too. So hopefully, you know, I get some family members and friends and maybe even strangers who like this, and if you're a writer too and you like the idea, then make some videos, make some blog posts, you know. Self-publishing is an option, it's just a hard one, and it needs a lot of support. So thank you very much. I will be in touch, and I will definitely keep you posted. Thanks.